Today's challenge is to diagnose some driveline vibrations, noises, thumps in this 2001 Subaru Outback LL Bean Edition H6. Driving along, I don't know if that's coming through on the audio or not, but there's a distinct, definite thump. You can hear the clanks, a little more gas, pretty serious vibration. I can feel it coming up through the armrest. So that's usually a drive shaft kind of problem. You could have a bad center support bearing. As this one's doing it pretty much under no power, coasting all the time, I think we're looking at a bad drive shaft more than anything. So let me go do a little trick to convert this thing to a front-wheel drive car and see if that changes the symptoms. And Subaru, helpfully enough, has made it pretty easy to take the rear drive out of the equation. If you pop the fuse box, and you can check on the inside here, and if your model is like most of this generation, you're going to find you'll see a front-wheel drive, in this case VDC off fuse, and if you go over to that point, you see there's just an empty fuse holder. Now, helpfully, they've also provided you with some extra fuses here, so I'm going to grab, and I believe any value will work here, but I'll put the 15 in. I'll install it in that spot. Okay, and I've now converted this car to a front-wheel drive only car. What that means is the transfer case clutch is going to open up. It's not going to send power to the rear wheels, so we'll be able to go out and see if that changes the behavior that I'm getting and changes the noise and vibration at all. And you see, starting it up, we now have an FWD front wheel drive indicator on the dash, and this was done, by the way, ostensibly for mounting a wrong size or smaller spare tire to prevent the car from getting confused by the what appears to be lack of traction on one of the rear tires or front tires, or the rear tires rather, as you drive with the spare. Okay, it's not perfect, but it did tame the amount of vibration and thumping going on quite a bit, which tells me it is definitely related to the rear drive shaft or something in the drivetrain. That still could point toward the drive shaft, because if it's significantly not square anymore, not balanced, if it's one or more of the U-joints is seriously compromised, it's going to still be turning, even if it's not being driven by the transfer case, because the rear differential is still turning, so the drive shaft has to turn with it. And I believe that's what I'm feeling now. It's different, so next thing is to take a look underneath and see what's going on. Okay, going to take out two bolts on the center support bearing. They're both easy enough to get to. I might have to take out this shield, but I'm going to try not to. Followed by these 4 bolts back here on the tail shaft on the differential. Easy peasy. Bolts are out. Drop the differential in and wiggle the whole thing to the rear, but that takes 2 hands, so I won't film it. All right, it's a little tight through there, so I'm going to drop the back of this shield by taking these 2 bolts off. They are 13 millimeter, I believe. Okay, it's out. That's nice and loose. Feels actually pretty good up here. I don't feel anything really too weird going on here. The center support bushing looks pretty good. The bearing feels good. Everything's tight there. Get to the back. Oh, that is notchy. I don't know if it just drops into the center slot. That's got some serious. Oh, look, I'm bleeding. The job must be going well. Yeah, that's the problem right there. So, okay, next step to get this thing operational is to cap off the tail shaft so it doesn't leak fluid. Without the front of the drive shaft in here up against the seal, it's likely to leak fluid. So my plan, which I hope works out, is to use a rubber plumbing 2-inch cap to cover it up. And here's what that looks like. It's like $5 at your local Ace Hardware, and hopefully that will stretch over the cap, seal it off, and just keep fluid from leaking out. There will be a little pocket of it will leak into the area, but it won't go anywhere, so it'll stop, and should keep it from being a problem. Alright, I saved you all the grunting and cursing that goes on to do that. It was tight. You really had to push it over, had to use just a little hook tool to stretch it over the lip. It is doable. I'm going to now, I think it'd probably stay like that forever, but I'm going to put the clamp on it just on the front half of it there to just help hold it in place so it doesn't ever leak. Okay, got the clamp around it. Now I just gotta just snug it down enough to make sure it doesn't just pop off. There's no pressure there, no fluid pressure pushing out. It just has to keep any extra fluid from coming off. That's gonna slide right off the back. Let's see if I can get it. If I can get it to pinch. There we go. I think it'll be good. Oh boy, yeah. I think that's all right. Well, it's ugly, but it's on there. It's clamped down. It's got the lip that's really going to hold it in place. The rubber's going to take a set, and I think that's going to be a permanent seal. Okay, got the two heat shield bolts back on. Got a plug. All right. Welcome to the two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive Subaru Outback. Okay, in front-wheel drive mode, driving along, smooth as silk. No bump, no lump, no vibrations, no clanging. It's just now a regular front-wheel drive car, and have the option to replace the drive shaft later or just leave it like this. But hey, great fix.